Back in the days when kids bathed in the river, when families always had candlelight dinners because there was no electricity, and when TikTok, as we knew it, is the sound of raindrops coming from the leaking roof and landing straight into a waiting bucket. Back in the good old days, whistling was our family's form of calling attention. Whistling meant that our parents wanted to see us or that it was time to go home. Whenever we kids heard the whistle, we would immediately run home out of respect for our parents. Good day mga laga and welcome to my vlog. To my family, to Kesa and Dodong and the Aligang family from Naga, Cebu, and to the Regner family in Ormoc. Hi, how are you? I'm vlogging again so that you can see what I'm doing here. I love you all and I miss you. To my 161 subscribers, thank you very much for your support. And to my viewers, thanks too for taking the time to view my vlog. By the way, I have created a playlist in my vlog and there are actually 3 parts in the playlist. The first part is like my activities here. I mean the parties and events that I've gone to. The other one features some beautiful places in Kuwait. And finally, my personal vlog where you can see my passion, my interests like Toastmasters, cooking and planting and whatever. So if you have a chance to check my vlog, please check the other videos and I hope you like it. And if you do, please subscribe and share with family and friends. So thank you very much. So how are you mga langga? I hope you're enjoying your time with your family and loved ones, enjoying your work, and in general, enjoying the life that God has given us. Praise the Lord. Today, I'm going to talk about what transpired in my life in the first 2 weeks of January. As I told you in my New Year's vlog, I'm going to face 3 challenges in the early part of 2023. And I faced 2 of them already, and that's what I'm going to talk about. First of all, I would like to say that the past 2 weeks had been very, very stressful and tiring for me because there were so many activities all at once, happening all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once. That's a movie, by the way. I had too many things to do at work because it's budgeting time and I have so many projects under me, under my responsibility. Then around those days, I had job interviews, which I'm going to talk about in probably my later vlogs. Then I had to go for my car registration renewal, which turned out to be very stressful. And on top of everything, I had to practice for my Toastmasters speech competitions. I participated in 2 categories, the humor speech and the international speech. They are both a 5 to 7 minute speech, so I had to memorize, I had to rehearse in front of the computer because it was on Zoom. I had to rearrange my house to provide a good background for the online competition and so many other different things. I really felt all the pressure, the stress, and the exhaustion in the first 3 weeks of January. And thankfully it's over and everything actually turned out well. And today I'm going to give you some details of what happened so that hopefully you can also benefit from my experience. You can learn something from what I had undergone. Let me talk quickly about the car registration. I was really worried, although I know that everything's going to be all right. Still, I got worried because of the expense. But you know what happened? There was a crack on the windshield of my car, which I wanted the mechanics to repair because it's part of the vehicle inspection requirements. But then the mechanics told me that it wasn't time to repair the crack because it's winter time and it's raining a lot. And they told me the inspectors wouldn't mind the crack because they know that if I have it repaired this time around, then there's a possibility of the windshield cracking again because of the cold and the rain. That's how they explained it to me. So I was relieved. I didn't pay 60 KD or about 10,000 pesos. So I was able to save the money. But then it was the actual process of the vehicle inspection that really stressed me a lot. It was raining that day when I had my vehicle registered. There was heavy traffic. We had to wait for about an hour for our turn to get our car inspected. And then the inspection thing happened. Okay. Huh? Gear? Gear? Park? Park, yeah. I didn't understand some of the instructions of the guys because they spoke in Arabic at times. So I was like, what shall I do? Yeah, it was really confusing. But finally, at the end of the day, after more than an hour, I was able to process my car registration. I got the new one. The registration is effective for another year, so I won't have to worry about it until next January. So that was it, mga laga. Like I said in my New Year's vlog, whatever you're experiencing, all the hardships and whatever worries you have, everything will turn out in the end. Now, let me share with you my experience in competing in a public speaking contest online. It was my first time competing on Zoom, and it was challenging, it was a bit funny, and a bit stressful at the same time. But when it was over, I felt relieved, I felt joyful and happy with the results. And although I look forward to the next round of competitions, for now, I just want to rest. I don't know when the next competition will be. It will be announced later. But I think I will be ready for it because I learned a lot of things in the first competition that I joined. So let me tell you what happened, mga langga. This is what actually happened. I had been practicing on Zoom. And so on the day of the competition, I logged in. I was ready. I thought I was ready. And when I logged in, so many people were already there. So I was listening to their conversation, and suddenly one person said, there's an echo somewhere. And I had no idea about the echo thing because, of course, it was my first time on Zoom. And then someone said, who is this Edon? I'm like, yes. What can I do? And he said, the echo is coming from your device. I'm like, what? And I'm a Zoom virgin. I had no idea about anything on Zoom except logging in and just clicking some of the stuff. And they asked me whether I have another device, whether I'm using another device in the house. I said no. And they said, why don't you use a headset? And I don't have a headset. I was just using the laptop microphone. So I'm like, so what should I do? I don't know what to do. And I heard people suggesting that I should leave the Zoom meeting. And there was a discussion. In short, the start of the competition started a bit late, maybe about 15 minutes. And mostly it was because of the echo, which they said came from my device. And I was really embarrassed. I didn't know what to do. So someone said, just leave and log in again. So I left the meeting. And when I logged in again, the contest was already starting. And I was put on mute. So what I did was just to listen to what they were doing and to wait for my turn. The first competition was evaluation. And while I was listening to the competitions, to the speeches, I saw my router blinking and it said, unstable internet connection. I was like, OMG, what shall I do now? Thankfully, after a few minutes, the connection was restored. While I was watching the proceedings, I couldn't help but think about the echo fiasco. And I really felt guilty because of what happened. There was a delay because of me. So it was playing at the back of my head. And then it was our turn for the competition. And I was like, okay, let me shrug it off. Let me forget about what happened and start anew. Like, focus on my speech and just do well. I was contestant number 2, so I had a chance to listen to contestant number 1, who is my colleague in my club, the Mangaf Communicators Toastmasters Club, and she did really well. And I applaud her for that. Toastmasters say, well, congratulations for a job well done. Then my turn came. I was introduced and everything. And I was like, okay, go, Ildon. You can do this. You've been practicing this for so many times. You can make it. You'll be okay. You will win. So that was the spirit that I had. And then something happened. Right before the contest chair introduced me, and before I was about to give my speech, the contest chair said, Ildon, pin the timer so that you can see the timing, whatever. So that's regular practice. And so I did. I pinned the timer. And while I was about to deliver my speech, I noticed that the screen in front of me is the timer screen. You know, it's a big timer screen. And my face was on the top, was relegated to the top of the screen. So I could see a small box with my face over there. And this big timer screen in front of me. I was like, why is this happening? You know, normally when I practice on Zoom, I could see my face, big face, and I could see the direction I'm going, you know, whether I'm going off the screen or whether I'm too far, too near, something. So I had been practicing that way. But then, in the actual competition itself, I was there in a small screen along with the rest of the viewers. And then I have this big timer in front of me. And of course, the camera is right in the center. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, should I look at myself so that I know where I'm going? My position in relation to the screen? Or should I look straight in the camera? Because they were telling me, look straight in the camera so that the people viewing you can see that you're talking directly to them. And I was like, if I look straight in the camera, I wouldn't be able to gauge my position, whether I'm okay, whether they could see me or not. At the same time, if I look at the screen, my screen, then I wouldn't be able to look straight into the camera. So I was like, what should I do? In the meantime, there's this big timer thing in front of me, which didn't help. So I was like, okay. So I actually told the contest chair before I started my speech, I can't see my face. It's there right on the top, and there's this timer screen in front of me. And I actually didn't get a reply, a firm reply, except that I have to proceed. So I started my speech. I just tried to do the best that I could, putting all the energy. But really at the back of my head, I was like, what am I doing? What should I do? Am I doing the right thing? So I was a bit confused, but I just tried to do my best, with all my energy and what I had practiced. I gave it my all. And yeah, I finished my speech. So that was my experience. Now, the rest of the speeches I wasn't able to see. I could hear them, but I wasn't very much interested because I couldn't see the speakers. All I saw was the timer's screen. So I just sat there trying to listen. At the same time, I was thinking about what happened. So that was it. My second speech, which is a humor speech, was the same. Basically, I was looking at the timer screen and I just gave it my all, even though I wasn't able to gauge where I am, my positioning, whether my positioning was off or it was right. So I just... And for your information, mga langga, and in all modesty, I finished second place in both of my competitions. The winner was very good. In fact, she joined in all 4 competitions and she won first place in all of the different categories. Thankfully, by winning second, I'm eligible to compete in the next level of competitions, which will be the Kuwait-wide competitions. It's going to be a competition among the different areas in Kuwait, and whoever wins in that competition will compete in Bahrain for the Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait competition, something like that. So I'm very thankful I joined. Anyway, I have another chance next time, but it's going to be very difficult because I'll be competing again with the same person who won first, who beat me. But whatever, may the best person win. And if she's the best, then give her the crown, give her the trophy. To summarize everything, mga langga, I really had a very tough and very tiring first 2 weeks of January. I worked 10 hours a day in the office, and if you add all those challenges and pressure, it could be too much. And that's what happened to me. And for a while, and that's the reason why last week I didn't do any vlogging at all. I was just so stressed. Then I had to rearrange my room because I moved furniture and stuff here and there. This is the before picture, before the contest itself, during the competition, and after the competition. I had a chance to be creative with the rearranging after the competition, so I changed the setting, moved my aquarium here and there, and my table here and there, and this is how it is now. That's it mga langga. To summarize my vlog, the first 2 weeks of January had been stressful and very tiring, mentally and physically exhausting for me, but I got through them, and now I feel more relaxed and looking forward to more challenges in the future. Again, I do believe, like what I said in my New Year's message, that whatever problems, difficulties, and challenges you are facing, you will make it through. Because inside of us is a very strong person. And again, as I said earlier, time heals all the wounds. And with God's help, we will overcome whatever comes my way. So just stay strong mga langga. Fight, fight, fight. Problems are a part of our lives, but they will not stay forever.